The biggest storm of fall for the Great Plains will be coming to the United States over the next few days, and this is going to bring some major problems, including the potential for severe weather, which will begin today and run all the way through Monday of this upcoming week. In addition to that, we are also watching the potential for a ton of rainfall that could actually lead to flooding in some areas. In addition to that, we are also watching the tropics, where a tropical storm could form in the Caribbean Sea as we go into this weekend, and that could eventually move into the Gulf of Mexico and impact the United States next week. So in today's forecast, we're going to break down exactly what you need to know about the weather that'll be happening across the United States over the next 7 days. And let's hop right into what's happening across the country this morning. And things are starting to clear out. We had a pretty big severe weather outbreak a couple of days ago with widespread thunderstorms from the Midwest back into the southern plains. That has all moved out. This is what's left of that. It's just a lot of showers, cloud cover more than anything, stretching from the Gulf Coast all the way back up into the Northeast. The main reason why is because the shortwave trough has actually been on a weakening trend. So we aren't really going to see much along the East Coast in terms of rainfall. And we also have a lot of sinking air across the entire East Coast. And what that essentially means is that, basically clouds can't build up. And that's leading to basically dry conditions for the entire East Coast of the country right now, which is really bad news because a lot of areas currently along the East Coast are in some sort of drought. Things are recovering across the Great Plains for now, but we are going to see another large storm enter into the United States over the next couple of days, and that's going to bring the return of severe weather beginning as early as tonight, but it'll really ramp up gradually day over day, and I think the worst days of severe weather will be on Sunday and Monday. Over the next few days, we are going to see a large storm enter into the United States. This is what our weather pattern looks like as we go into Saturday. We're going to have a huge dip in the jet stream across the Rocky Mountains, and a large-scale trough is going to form. Winds are going to be very strong on the backside of this trough, but as we go into Sunday and into Monday, it's going to eventually intensify, and we're going to see some very strong southwesterly winds across the central and southern plains, which will amplify the threat of severe weather, especially on Sunday and Monday for those in parts of the central and southern plains. And we'll be talking more about the particular threats I'm expecting across those areas in just a moment. But as we go to Sunday into Monday, notice how that trough continues to dig, and we are going to see a very strong jet stream riding anywhere from Wisconsin back into Texas. If you are flying on Sunday or Monday and you're going from east to west or west to east along this jet stream, you are going to see a lot of turbulence on that aircraft. It is going to be a lot of turbulence because of very strong winds aloft, and that's going to create that potential for turbulence here across the Midwest and back through the southern plains. As we go into Tuesday into Wednesday, that low pressure system will quickly move out. Things will be a little bit calmer as we go into Wednesday of next week, but by Thursday into Friday, we are going to see another large storm enter into the Great Plains, and that's going to also pull tons of moisture out of the Gulf of Mexico. That'll lead to another day, I think, of severe weather, probably by the tail end of next week. So we are going to see a very active weather pattern, and even after that, we are probably going to see another big storm sometime in the middle of November. So buckle up. The weather is going to be pretty crazy, I think, here over the next few weeks for much of the lower 48. Now let's go into the future radar and give you an idea of what will be happening here over the next few days. Beginning with today and tomorrow, we are going to see a lot of moisture coming out of the Gulf of Mexico. Strong southerly winds will again amplify lots of moisture, leading to some heavy rainfall across the central and southern plains today and tomorrow. This will also create a localized area of severe weather, mostly back over in West Texas and western Oklahoma as we go into today and as well as tomorrow. So a couple days to watch for some severe weather. We'll break that more down into detail for you here in just a moment. As we go into Sunday, we're eventually going to see this trough amplify further, and we're going to get a little bit more of an organized threat of severe weather, I think, on Sunday, especially from North Texas back into southern Oklahoma. Damaging winds, large hail, and an isolated tornado or two are expected to be possible on Sunday. Monday could be the biggest day, mostly because I think we're going to have a much more organized area of storm activity in eastern Oklahoma, back into eastern Kansas and western Missouri. And if we're able to see discrete supercells, I think we'll have a more elevated tornado threat on Monday. And I think Monday overall just has most of the ingredients available. The one lacking factor could be instability. That's one big thing to watch for on Monday, will be how much instability there is, because look how much rain's going to be falling over the next few days. We're going to see a huge area of penetrating rainfall from the Midwest back into the southern plains, which actually could lead to flooding as well. So a lot of things we're watching for out of this storm. But Monday at night, that might be the day again to watch for a more robust severe weather threat. As we go into Tuesday, this eventually moves to the east, and that trough races into Canada as we go into Tuesday afternoon. It's going to weaken pretty quickly. I'm not expecting much severe weather or even really any rainfall for the East Coast, so unfortunately, there's not much ahead there, just some light passing showers in areas like Ohio, West Virginia, and New England. As we go into Wednesday into Thursday, we'll be watching for another trough to develop here in the central and southern plains. Perhaps our first snowfall of the season in parts of Nebraska. We'll have to wait and see. That could also bring severe weather, but it's pretty uncertain how strong that trough will be, and then anything after that remains very uncertain. So over the next few days, we'll be watching for some severe weather. Beginning tonight, there will be some isolated damaging winds and hail across West Texas and southeastern New Mexico. I'm not too concerned about the tornado threat for today. And then as we go into tomorrow, a large line of thunderstorms will continue out of whatever happens tonight. That'll move into Oklahoma and North Texas. Again, isolated damaging winds and hail being possible. One thing that could be very interesting as we go into Saturday afternoon and evening is a resparking of storms back over in West Texas. And if we get anything that's discrete, I would not rule out a photogenic tornado back over in West Texas. It's definitely going to be in play, I think, for Saturday afternoon and evening. So something to watch for. But otherwise, just mostly a wind threat moving across areas like North Central Texas and also North Texas Saturday afternoon and evening. Now, as we go into Sunday into Monday, we are going to see more wind shear developing across the central and southern plains. Again, storm mode is very questionable right now, but if we get discrete supercells in this environment, we'll have a potential for a more elevated tornado threat on Sunday from central and southern Kansas back into western Oklahoma. Monday, again, I think will be a bigger day. Right now, the NAM model doesn't go far out enough with the tornado parameter values, but we are going to have a lot of wind shear again on Monday. And the mid-level jet will actually be cranking at 80 to 90 knots aloft, so it's actually a pretty favorable environment, I think, for at least the wind threat. Also, tornadoes will be a possibility, especially if we get discrete supercells, but overall, it's still too far out to really tell exactly what we are going to see then because of the storm mode and also how much rain we're going to be seeing out of this event and all the cloud cover that's going to come with it. This is the rainfall accumulation between now and Wednesday of this upcoming week. That's over a 5-day time frame. Look at this yellow stretch from Oklahoma back into Illinois. This is an area that we are expecting a potential for numerous to widespread areas seeing between 3 to 6 inches of rainfall, but it gets a little bit crazier. If we zoom in on parts of the central plains like Missouri, Oklahoma, and as well as Kansas, some areas could even see a localized amount of upwards of 10 to 15 inches of rainfall. Now, here's the thing. We do think that there will be some flash flooding. We just don't exactly know where the highest accumulation of rain will fall. The GFS model has it in southwestern Missouri near Joplin, back into northeastern Oklahoma. However, that could shift a little bit depending on where the trough goes and also how much moisture ends up being available once this storm gets closer. But definitely going to be something to watch for, especially for Sunday and Monday. That'll be when the most of the rainfall does happen. So again, be ready for that. If you're in a low-lying area, you might have to take some precautions here as significant rainfall is expected. And the tropics are actually heating up again. We have 3 areas of development across the Atlantic Ocean. We got 2 back over near the Caribbean Sea, and then 1 back over in the northern Atlantic Ocean. The one in the orange is the one that's the most concerning, as it has a 60% chance of development over the next 7 days, and if it does form, it is likely to head in the direction of the Gulf of Mexico. Now, I know we're in November, and things overall are expected to quiet down in the tropics, but again, warm water temperatures, low wind shear does not go well, especially in November. It's basically mid to late October right now, because look at what we're looking at here on the GEFS ensemble members by Tuesday. A lot of them at least have a tropical storm. A few of them get it close to hurricane status by Tuesday near Jamaica. After that, there's some uncertainty on what happens, but a lot of the models have this going into the Gulf of Mexico, several of which, if they go between the Yucatan Peninsula and as well as Cuba, could actually become a stronger hurricane. Category 2 hurricane would definitely be a possibility, but again, nothing's formed yet, so we don't exactly know what's going to happen here. From there, where does this go? Well, there's a possibility it could go towards Florida, could go towards Louisiana. Right now, there's a large spread, though, on what's exactly going to happen, and also, it might not even form, so we don't really know what's going to happen yet. It is something to watch for, not a guarantee that we're going to see impacts here in the United States, but if you're along the Gulf Coast, something to watch. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, and we'll keep you posted with the latest on this particular system in the Gulf of Mexico, and also the severe weather across the United States.